looking for the blitz. The first high school football game I ever covered was back in 1998 in White Plains. It was at Stepinac. They took on St. Joseph by the Sea. We don't have highlights of that game, but I do remember the game ending on a last-second field goal that Stepinac missed. St. Joe's won. Stepinac didn't win a game that year. Here we are 20 years later. I'm a little grayer. Coach Michael Donald's a little grayer as well, but he is now a three-time champion in the Catholic League. They are not just the best team in Westchester, in the Catholic League. They might be the best team in New York State. They'll find that out on Saturday. We have a lot to get to in this week's edition of the Football Fix. Welcome. I'm your host, Kevin Devaney Jr. Jimmy Cavallo not here today, dealing with a little teeth issue. He's probably from biting his nails about Yorktown and their run through the state playoffs, through this section. He called them America's team last week. Well, they might be New York's team by the end of this weekend. They're headed to the Carrier Dome for the state final. And then joining them on Sunday is Pleasantville. They won their semifinal down off Glens Falls. We have highlights of those two games and a whole lot more. We also have social media corner. Amanda Puglisi is here this week. We'll get to her later in the show. But we'll start with Stepinac. I talked about the progression, the evolution of this program. We've seen them grow. As I said, didn't win a game in 1998, and they just steadily got better since then. They have now become the preeminent program in Westchester County, all of the Hudson Valley, and they want to maintain that at the Catholic League level. They had to get through St. Anthony's, which they've never done, had to do in the playoffs. They had to get through St. Anthony's in the championship. The number one seeded Friars taking on Stepinac on Saturday night in the pouring rain, looking for their third championship in 4 years. First quarter, Stepinac punting away. Not a good start for Stepinac. You can blame the rain, blame the weather. You can blame Mekhi Murphy. 75-yard return for a touchdown for St. Anthony's. Stepinac in big trouble early on, down 14-0, 7 minutes into the game. Oh, then the Trill Williams show started. He gets tackled for a lot. Wait, nope. He didn't get tackled there. He breaks free. He goes under his own teammate. Down the field, Michael Nicosia leading the way. Williams in, dives, touchdown. Stepinac scores 14-13. Third quarter, we saw one punt return earlier. Trill Williams, an epic night, just running all over the field. One direction, around the other, across the sideline. Sir, move out of the way, we can't see. Then he goes back across the middle to the 30. How he had the energy to make this run. He's going to trot across the goal line. Stepinac leads 25-14. Third quarter, Trill with an offensive touch. How about a defensive one? Interception return for a touchdown as he gets around the quarterback, Greg Campisi. 33-14 Stepinac. The route was on Michael Nicosia. He had a nice day too. 7-yard touchdown pass to, who else? Trill Williams. 4 touchdowns in the game for Williams. Nicosia, 243 yards passing. 3 touchdowns. Stepinac wins the title 47-22-1.
It's just the first quarter jitters. The kids trying to settle into the weather. It said it's raining. I think I give all the credit to Trill. He kept us in us with those picks, those long runs. That makes everything flow a lot easier.
When I got hurt, I only had one mission, and that was win the championship with my team.
How does this feel? You're winning a championship senior year. You still have another game left. You're going to go upstate and play a state championship game. But how does this all feel right now?
It feels good because last year I tore my ACL, and now I'm back, and we winning. So we got moving on to state.
I think we were a little drained after that punt return, but I think we honestly went to the sideline. We came together. We said, we're not letting it end like this. Some people were saying this is just like last year's chip. We weren't having any of it. We got that mentality back like we were at Cardinal Hayes last weekend, and we just came together. We did our thing, and we played Stepinac defense.
Stepinac moving on to the state final, facing what's actually a familiar opponent, Buffalo. Canisius. Canisius has won the defending Catholic State champion. They'll take on Stepinac. They met in the first ever Catholic State championship in 2015. Canisius came down here to the island and knocked out Stepinac in that game. So the Crusaders know a little bit about the program. I had a preview today on news12varsity.com, detailing what Canisius is. And what they are is terrific. They're an exceptional football team. Stepinac going to have an interesting week of preparation. They're actually going to have an open practice on Thanksgiving morning since they aren't going to be able to play their usual Thanksgiving Day game against White Plains. So if you want to, you're a Stepinac alum, 9 to 11, they'll be there out in the field. Maybe 10 to 12. But whatever it is, I'll put it on Twitter. Let's go. Speaking of Twitter, let's go to the social media corner with Amanda Puglisi. Miss Twitter, how's everything going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You were there on Saturday. And I think it might have been 14-0 when you walked in. Is that right?
So it wasn't actually,
okay.
Kev. And listen, I'm not going to take any credit for Stepinac's win. However, I do think I am their good luck charm because the second I walked in, I saw the Trill Williams, the punt return for a touchdown, and I think I may have been their good luck charm. So you're welcome, Crusaders.
And people are reaching out to you on Twitter about Stepinac's victory.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people, and I like this one. The first tweet we're going to start with, it's actually from Bronxville, so it's a nice little Section 1 Catholic League love.
Yeah.
Congratulations to our Stepinac sports and the varsity football team on their third AAA title in 4 years.
Patsy Maganelli runs the Bronxville football Twitter account because he's the head coach of Bronxville. He works during the day, at Archbishop Stepinac. So Patsy Magnelli is a good dude, and I'm sure he's rooting for them hard to continue this run.
It all makes sense. And of course, we heard from Stepinac as well. And this is a tough one, Kev. We may have to throw up a Twitter poll and help them out. Not sure which one will be this year's Christmas card. Two great pictures to choose from.
Well, they're going to have a better Christmas card if they can go up on Saturday and pose as a unit, because you see the team on one side, the coaching staff on the other. Let's get everyone together after winning on Saturday afternoon, winning a state championship. That would be a nice little thing to set out for the holidays.
Yeah, maybe you and I can get on that Christmas card mailing list. And how about this? John Malone, he may be the only person that likes Twitter more than the two of us, Kev.
Yes.
But during the game, he put together only 3. He didn't get the 4th one in time, but he put in 3 of Trill Williams' touchdowns. He wants to know which one did you think was the best? And how about this, the 67-yard cutback punt return for a touchdown? That was the first one I saw, and pretty good. I voted on that one.
Yeah,
as well.
I think that John Malone did a great job with the Twitter. He actually, I looked at him during the game because he was there working the scoreboard, and I could see the light bulb go off his head. We're going to do a Twitter poll, and sure enough, he got great response. The Trill Williams, whatever you choose in that Twitter poll, it doesn't matter. That was as good of a football game I've ever seen one player have at that level. Amanda, we'll be back to you in just a moment. We're going to go to Yorktown now. As the Huskers, they made it to the state championship the first year they ever had it in 1993. They won. They get back to 1994. They won again. Here we are 23 years later. I was in high school, actually, when they won the state championship. I remember what a big deal it was for a team in Westchester to win a state championship. Now here they are 23 years later, trying to get back there for the first time since 1994. They had to go through Burnt Hills. That's a team that Somers beat in last year's semifinals on their way to a state title. Yorktown trying to do the same at Middletown on Friday night. First quarter, first offensive series. It was a 10-play drive for Yorktown. Talk about setting a tone here. Tommy Weaver caps it with a 9-yard touchdown run, getting into the corner at the pylon. The junior quarterback continues to get better. 7-0 Yorktown. Second quarter, Burnt Hills will respond. Darian Lopietro, 19-yard touchdown pass to Mike Levon. 7-6 Yorktown lead. The extra point was no good. Second quarter, Burnt Hills would eventually go up 13-7. Makar, though, how about Brett Makar? Can we talk about Brett Makar as maybe the Tri-State Player of the Year? Maybe. We'll talk about it later on. 126 yards in the first half, alone rushing, 14-13 Yorktown. Second quarter still, Weaver. Alex Yukaj. Yukaj has like one catch a game, and it always looks like something like that. What an unbelievable juggling grab. 20-13 Yorktown led at the half. Third quarter, Yorktown ball to start the half. 8-minute drive, capped off by Brandon Morellis. 12-yard touchdown run. It was Morellis' birthday, and that wasn't going to be the best birthday present he'd give to himself. That would come later on in the third quarter. Defense coming up here. Ball knocked loose by Sean O'Connor. And then there's Morellis with the football, going to go all the way in for the score. Morellis, the defensive MVP. Yorktown knocks off Burnt Hills. They're going to the Dome, the state final, with a 34-19 victory.
The excitement's just rushing through everyone here. I mean, we haven't done this since '94, and it's just a great thing for our community.
You guys get down in the first quarter of this game, or in the second quarter of this game, and then you start coming back, and then you started kind of flexing your muscles a little bit. I mean, how much was the defense, just kind of stepping to the challenge tonight?
I mean, defense has helped us all year. I mean, you saw in the Cornwall, and we held Somers to under 100 yards, and just Siraj is doing a great job. Brett, Brandon, everyone on the defensive team is just doing a great job stopping everyone's offense.
Let's talk about Brett. I mean, he's been unbelievable all postseason, all year, and now tonight he goes for another 180 yards and a touchdown. Does he ever cease to amaze you with what he can do on both sides of the football?
I mean, of course he does. I mean, rushing 200, 180 yards like every game is just an incredible thing to do.
I think you caused the fumble that Morellis picked up the ball and goes touchdown. I think then did you realize then that this was going to happen?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just a game-changing play that everyone on the defense made happen. And right there when we went up 34, I think, to 14 or something like that, I mean, right then you know with the time winding down that I think we're going to the Dome.
You played in the coldest weather last week. Tonight was not so warm either. Next week's gonna be nice and warm in the Carrier Dome. What is that? What are you thinking about that yet? Has that set in?
I mean, that's been on everyone's mind ever since we won the section. I mean, our goal in the beginning of the year was the section championship, and we surpassed that, and we're just not done with that yet. So we want to go to the Dome, and that's been in the back of our minds ever since the beginning of the season.
It's going to be interesting Friday morning as the traffic out of this town of Yorktown starts headed up to Syracuse. You're going to go up Route 17. It's a nice little drive on that Friday morning, Black Friday morning. Going to be a lot of fun. Just don't go near Monroe Woodbury Commons because that's going to be difficult. 34-19 victory for Yorktown. They go on to face West Seneca West. The Buffalo Region champion. They are an absolute powerhouse. Again, the preview online details how good West Seneca West is. They have a quarterback going to the University of Buffalo. They have a wide receiver who will eventually go Major Division I. But Yorktown's going to bask in the moment just now. And Yorktown, Amanda, you've become a good Yorktown fan. You were there when they won the section championship. I think your interview with Brett Makar might still be going. But what's going on social media?
You know, Kev, you said that maybe Brett Makar should be the player of the year. He could definitely get the interview of the
Yes.
year award. I can tell you that for sure. But yeah, let's talk about this Yorktown team. They're great on the field and off the field. I love their community aspect. We saw it a little bit at the Section 1 championship, Kev. But on Twitter, everybody travels, whether you're a player, a parent, or the band. And I loved this one. Congratulations, Huskers. We are so happy to be here to cheer you on. All right, not the only ones here, though. Get ready, guys, Friday night, because you're expected to continue traveling. We hear from some of the other fans on Twitter as well. Yorktown sports fine rides to the Carrier Dome on Friday. Yorktown hasn't been to the state championship since 1994. Hashtag Roll Town. Now, going up there, I don't know if I can promise you guys that you'd get a police escort, Kev, but on the way home this weekend, I mean, Coach Rosigno and the boys, that's got to be such a great feeling when you're coming down and the lights are flashing and everyone in town's waiting.
I'll say this, my wife was fortunate to be the JV coach at Irvington Girls Basketball. They won 4 state championships, so she was an assistant on the varsity. She said the best part of winning every year was the escort through the town, going down through Irvington. Yorktown gets to know that feeling. It's an incredible feeling, and it's something that it's great that the towns really rally, and it doesn't surprise me one bit that Yorktown is one of those towns that will do that. And I'll tell you, 13-7, they lose the lead. Burnt Hills is moving the ball, no problem. The defense looked pretty good, and then Brett Maycar just willed them down the field to score, took the lead, and you never really look back. So we'll get to you, Amanda, and a little later in the show, and we finish up now with Pleasantville. You know, Pleasantville last year makes the state semifinals. They're facing Glens Falls. Glens Falls, you know, the Albany teams are always quality opponents, and Glens Falls coming down from Class A. They were a favorite in the state last year. They go out, Pleasantville goes into the game last year and totally gets blown off the field. And I think there was a lot of shock early on in that game. They got behind, and Pleasantville didn't forget that. They worked all year long, even when they lost in the regular season of Valhalla, just to get back to the semifinals, and we're hoping Glens Falls was going to be there. And here they are. They were there, and it was a rainy Saturday night in Middletown. Pleasantville, though, traveled well. First quarter, Pleasantville already forced 1 turnover. They would get a second. Glens Falls fumbles right into the hands of Charlie McPhee. He goes in for the touchdown. Mr. Offense, also Mr. Defense. 7-0 Pleasantville. Second quarter, Pleasantville offense would be on the move. McPhee fumbles the ball away inside the 15-yard line. Third red zone strip in the second quarter. For 0 points. 7-0 Pleasantville will still lead. Second quarter, more Pleasantville defense. Joe Girard, terrific all-around player, two-sport athlete, maybe the best two-sport athlete in the state. Interception, what a play there by Melillo. Danny Melillo with the pick. Might be one of the top play nominees. 7-0 at the half. Pleasantville, they'd finally break this game open. Jack Howe, 27 yards to Declan McDermott. What a catch there in the corner. Catch an 80-yard drive over 7 minutes long. McDermott is pumped up. Pleasantville feeling it. Third quarter, more defense for Pleasantville. Joe Girard under wraps all game. James Daniele with the sack. Pleasantville had 8 sacks in the game. Plenty more for the hits on Girard as well. Fourth quarter, Howe, 17 yards rushing, a 70-yard rushing touchdown there. Pleasantville goes up 20-0, and they are feeling it. They are on their way to the Carrier Dome for the state championship game after knocking off Glens Falls. They dumped their coach on a cold, wet night, but Sarah doesn't mind. He's going to the Dome.
Definitely sweet. I mean, we've been playing state semifinals for a couple sports for the past 3 years. It's just finally fun to get one, especially against this team. I mean, they've definitely been pretty good. I'm pretty sure they've won like 24 straight, so granted to them, they're a great team, but it was just fun to get out here and get after it.
We worked really hard all week about getting different blitzes and getting different pressures with different fronts defensively. And our bottom line was we just got after it on the D-line. We just rushed the quarterback really hard and just played our butts off. So
Driscoll, Howe, McPhee, McDermott, Daniele, Egan. They're good football players. They're good athletes, but they're winners. And we'll see it more and more as the season goes on. They bounced back from that loss to Foul in the regular season, that heartbreaker. They aren't the perfect team, but they're going to the state championship and facing the team that's been there. Chenango Forks has been in the state championship game 11 times in the past, I think it's 16 years. They've won 5 titles. They won 3 in a row in Class C. They made it to the Dome last year in Class B. So going into this game, they have an advantage. They have the experience advantage. All these guys have played their games in the state championship game. So Pleasantville going to go into this game as I would say an underdog because I think talent-wise, everything evens up. This is a great defensive team. Nick Salzarullo, another game, 14 tackles. Another guy who's just a winner, plays basketball, won a section championship in basketball. Amanda, social media corner, what does Pleasantville have for us?
I don't know about you, but I was cold, Kev, just looking at those post-game interviews. But listen, it was a great weekend to be a Stepinac football fan. It was a great weekend to be a Pleasantville football fan. There's a little bit of synergy between those two, isn't there, Kev?
It always comes back to Stepinac somehow.
Always, always, always. So here we go. Congratulations to the Westchester teams going to the state championships. A special congratulations. Look at this, a Stepinac alum, Sarah and Pleasantville. So it's nice to hear Stepinac kind of getting in and congratulating other people. Now, Josh is very excited for this Pleasantville team. Rollville, baby. And let me tell you something.
Former player.
This next tweet, Kev, I'm standing up for you because I don't like what I see on Twitter. Here we go.
You, my mom, and my wife, always defending me.
Well, someone has to. I'm sorry. Who did you predict to lose this game again? Oh, wait. Listen, Rob. You know what? Luckily for you guys,
I have the answers.
That's right. When Kev picks against you guys, Pleasantville is undefeated. So on behalf of Kevin Devaney Jr. and everyone here at News 12 Varsity, you're welcome, Pleasantville.
You know, I picked them to lose the section basketball championship. I picked them to lose in the state semifinals in football. I will pick them to lose this week, and I will never be happier than being wrong. Amanda, thanks so much.
You got it, Kev.
All right, we'll bring back Amanda next week when we hopefully are celebrating state championships for our 3 teams in the Hudson Valley. Who is going to make the top 25 poll this week? Our group of experts. I don't call them a stable. I don't think that's a very nice name. But stable of experts will say they unveiled the News 12 Varsity Tri-State Top 25 poll. Stepinac is moving up. You know, I heard from some people at Yorktown. They want to be moving in. Does Yorktown belong? Find out on Tuesday, 7 p.m. on news12varsity.com. I think Yorktown. I did make a little push for Yorktown to be in the top 25 because when you do the math, you look at, I'm not going to go crazy here, but they beat Cornwall handily. Cornwall beat Newburgh. Newburgh almost beat Troy, which beat New Rochelle. So Yorktown is in the conversation. We'll find out what those guys have to say Tuesday, 7 p.m. I want to thank you for checking out this week's edition of the Football Fix. Jimmy Cavallo, let's hope he's back next week. And we are celebrating, as I said, 3 state championships. I'm going to Syracuse, Buffalo, Syracuse. Hopefully see you there, and we'll see you next Monday.